All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another Three Count Gino, third show in 4 days. This is the go home show for Raw for Elimination Chamber. A lot of hints, a lot of twists, a lot of teases in this episode of Raw. I thought it was brilliant. We're gonna get right into it, but before that, I heard some kind of weird news. Um, I don't know if you guys remember the super fan of Bailey, Izzy Moreno. Well, apparently she may be on her way to WWE. Her, I don't mind so much. Thunder Rosa, on the other hand, I don't get. But apparently Thunder Rosa may be coming with her. We'll talk more about that at a later date. As right now, we're going to break down what happened on the Go Home show for Elimination Chamber, Toronto. They definitely hyped up the I Want Your Soul promo quite a bit during the show, just to mention that Cody be coming out later on to talk about it. So let's talk about how Raw actually starts off. Raw starts off, you see Gunther, American Alpha, Io Shirai, Io Sky, whatever you want to call her, sorry, Dakota Kai, Vladimir Valkyria, and a few other people, Cody Rhodes, all arriving to Raw. So if you're arriving after the show starts, I guess you're late. Inside joke. If you watch Hyman Miller on YouTube, you understand. Logan Paul actually kicks off Raw because it's in his hometown of Cincinnati. Sorry, his home state of Ohio. He's from Cleveland. He talks a little bit, and to be honest with you, Logan Paul should not be associated with WWE. I don't know if you guys saw this. He's now banned from three countries: Japan, Egypt, and I can't remember the third one off the top of my head right now. But WWE should walk away from this dude, man. He's nothing but trouble. And people like he's incredible in the ring. He's not that good in the ring. If you actually watch his matches, they have to be plotted out and well thought out before he can do anything. Is he athletic? Yes. Can he cut a promo? Not really. Is he likable as a person? No, it has nothing to do with promo skills. He's just not a likable person. Well, halfway through that promo, CM Punk comes out and he tells him exactly the thing I was kind of saying in a roundabout way. He's like, "You're not going to be remembered. You're a flash in the panties. You're a generic, another white guy. It's all you are. In 3 or 4 years, you'll be gone from this company and people will forget who you are and what you did." He's like, unlike somebody like me who's an icon and a legend and has memorable moments, he's like, you have nothing besides splash for the guy who's not in this company anymore. And that was a Royal Rumble 2 years ago. And of course, Logan Paul comes back with the brutal Phil thing, so that's been played to death now, hasn't it? Mm, I really hope this does not lead to Logan Paul versus CM Punk at WrestleMania. Nobody wants to or needs to see that. I don't know what they're gonna do with CM Punk or Mania, but please be honest, I really hope it is not versus Logan Paul. You can tell that now slowly building up more and more. Sorry, we'll get away from that. That was the opening segment of Raw. You can slowly then building more and more towards that being the match at Mania, and I don't know if we need to watch or have to watch that. I know for one, if that's on Mania, I probably will not watch that match. I'll be honest with you. I'll watch it because I have to review it, but I won't watch it as a fan to enjoy it. Um, Following that, we actually had the New Day, sorry, take on LWO, and I completely forgot LWO was in the company, to be honest with you, aside of Rey Mysterio being a part of it and Zelina Vega. I forgot they existed. I remember their names, which is kind of ironic because a lot of the time I forget wrestlers' names. But Cruz del Toro and Joaquin Wild. A very decent match. All four of the guys athletic as fuck. What a great story. Excuse me, guys. Of course, the LWO was never going to win the match. They were jobbers in WCW and the jobbers in WWE. New Day wins. Good back and forth a little bit. New Day dominate a little bit. LWO comes back, makes their comeback. You can tell they're fighting for something. They're fighting for Ray. LWO, I mean, New Day still got that nuclear Dominic Mysterio heat no matter what they do or say or act. It's brilliant. At some point, Big E's going to get back involved in the story, but to keep him off TV for a long time now, absolutely brilliant. Well done. I know it's nothing a lot to do with him not also being cleared, but the fact that he's probably told them to just keep him away for as long as possible. You'll, pro- you'll probably see Big E back at Mania. It's my guess. It'll cost New Day in some way possible at Mania. Um, yeah, I thought we had the quarter of the night from CM Punk when he just said in 3 years we're gonna be the flash of the pan, the skinny white guy that nobody wants to remember or will remember. But nope, we had one better way later on that was gonna be better. But I really did like that CM Punk that quote. After the New Day beats LWO, it's 2-on-3 for LWO, and New Day still beats them down. Um, then we have Penta versus Pete Dunne versus Ludwig Kaiser. And I just think of those three names I just named off. How was that match ever going to be bad? All three of those guys are incredible in the ring. I like the way this story is going and how it's going and how it's being based around each individual person. And then their guilt towards each other, or anger towards each other, and two people's anger towards one person, if that makes sense. It's pretty much two guys have one target, but they also have a target on each other. But their main target is Penta. Hmm. Sorry, it's been a long day, guys. Um, Surprisingly, I did not think the person that won this match would have won this match, that being Ludwig Kaiser. And once again, Pete Dunne takes the pin, so I think Triple H kind of tired and done with Pete Dunne. No pun intended. I just think Pete Dunne, whatever enjoyment Triple H had with them, is gone. So unfortunately for Pete Dunne, he's pretty much a jobber at this point. He's too talented to be a jobber. It'd be really cool to see Dallas come up and join Pete Dunne, and that'd be really cool stable. But we'll see what happens. Or when Tyler Bate comes back, we'll see what they do. They had a very good John Cena hype video for his last ever Elimination Chamber, first and last, sorry, very last Elimination Chamber. Talking about how he has to win the 17th title, so one day he can shake the hand of the person on the 18th title. He has to do it for the company, and I think he's going to beat Cody Lander. Not at Mania. I don't think he's a guy winning the Chamber. I could be wrong. I kind of want to be Cena, but I don't know if Cena's the guy that's going to win the Chamber. Make those predictions on Friday, and then we'll break down Chamber on Saturday. Then we had a Rhea interview, and she talked about how she had to beat Io Shirai because that's the only person out of the big people she hadn't beaten yet. She named them all. She's beaten Bailey. She's beat Sasha. She said the name Sasha. She beat Becky. She beat Charlotte. She never faced Ronda. She beat Shayna in NXT. She beat Asuka in NXT. She's never beat Io. Excuse me, guys. She needs to, and she beat Liv. She mentioned Liv. He's never beat Io. She needs to beat Io. Speaking about Io, she interrupts and hype up their match on next Monday. And then following that, we have. I don't know what this thing is. We actually had a weird backstage segment with Judgment Day where they seem they're kind of falling out with each other, but also not really falling out with each other. They keep hinting at hitting another guy. And then Dominic Mysterio and Finn are just arguing with each other. And Liv walks in and says, "You guys are still arguing like children. You got to figure this out." Blah blah blah. So I think they're kind of still teasing that Finn's gonna get eliminated from Judgment Day. Excuse me. But they're also talking about how they have their title match later tonight. Now they think Raquel and Bianca are still blaming them for what happened. And I'll be honest with you guys, I thought Raw was kind of anticlimactic the way it ended today. I didn't expect it the way it ended. I thought there'd be a big turn. We'll talk about it when we get to it. This has been building for 2 months and it still led to nothing. Um, so yeah, the Judgment Day then seen walking down hallway because out of nowhere, Dominic Mysterio has a match with Braun Breaker. I don't know how that happened, but maybe it's because he got speared last week. Interesting. Sorry, I figured there'd be a lot more leading into the trip. You had a really cool sit-down promo with Sami Zayn. I forgot to mention that about how he went to Kevin Owens' house after he saw Kevin was at his house, but he just ran to Kevin's mom, and she's in good health after her health concerns. And that's good to hear. But he realized what he was gonna do, and he realized he can't be the person that he wanted to be, and he can't turn into what Kevin is becoming. And this rivalry has driven their friendship apart, and they just both become insane with hatred for each other. If you have a good 5 or so minutes out of your day to go check out that on Raw, I would. The build for this alone and the Elimination Chambers are worth the pay-per-view. Um, if this is the only other match on the Chamber, hell, I won't be mad. I know it's not, but it wouldn't be mad, what? Fuck you, yawning. Following that, we actually had Lyra Valkyria versus Dakota Kai for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. And once again, 2 for 2, they have an incredible match. I'm not. I know a lot of people use it as a surprise. I'm not really. You can't let Lyra release the fucking title in her first defense. And don't worry, guys. I'm not giving it to Ivy Nile either, because I know a lot of people are losing their minds on that. But they're not giving the title to Ivy Nile. Don't worry, guys. Not right now, at least. IV is not going to win the Intercontinental title. Lyra is too over with the fans, and they just chant along to her song every time she comes out. Um, she's just super over. She's charismatic. She's great in the ring. She's a very good babyface underdog champion, which WWE likes, especially with her Intercontinental titles. Minus Gunther, who went on that insane run. Not to mention, Gunther actually did have a warm up match against Tozawa. Tozawa put up a good fight. Gunther kicked his ass. Also, sorry, I forgot to mention, following that Ivy Nile and Lyra match where Ivy Nile loses, or sorry, Lyra and Dakota match, Dakota wins again, or sorry, loses again. Ivy Nile attacks both of them and leaves Lyra in the middle of the ring with a really cool new finisher. The story's there, but like I said, Ivy Nile's not winning the belt. The Creed brothers are going to be fighting War Raiders next week for the tag titles again. War Raiders are not dropping the titles yet, I don't think. Especially after we just had tag team champions match this Monday night to end off Raw with a kind of funky finish, but we'll talk about that when we get to that. And then it happened. We got the Judgment Day versus Braun Breaker. Very good one-on-one match for a while. And a lot of people that hate on Dominic Mysterio are so goddamn stupid. The kid is perfectly good at what he does. Mega heat no matter what he does in the ring. He's very good in the ring in and of itself. I mean, everyone that's been in the ring with him and just said thank you for what they've done with him. He's safe. You can tell he's very safe. You can tell he's comfortable. And Braun and him put on a good match. And then it became a 3-on-1 beatdown. And Braun wins due to disqualification. Braun ends up hitting Carlito with a spear, and then we have face-off between Finn and Braun. So I don't know if you guys have been seeing this lately, but they've sort of been planting seeds for things that are going to happen at Mania early into the go-home show for the Elimination Chamber, even though Mania is 2 months away. One of those seeds being planted, I think we're going to have a 6-man ladder match for the Intercontinental title. And I think you've kind of seen a little bit of the tease of some of the people that are going to be in it. AJ Styles, Penta, I believe Finn Balor's going to be in it. I believe Dominic Mysterio's going to be in it. I think Dominic Mysterio's going to screw Finn when Finn's going to get the belt. And that's how Finn's eliminated from Judgment Day. Braun Breaker himself, of course. So we said 6, right? We got Finn. We got Dominic, AJ, Penta, Braun. Who's 6? Well, this is my prediction. 6 is going to be Sheamus, and Sheamus is finally going to win his title at WrestleMania. I mean, the dude's been doing service for 20 years. Give him that honor. That's put on incredible matches. Not all the time, but the majority of the time in his career for 20 years. He's one of the hardest hitting, most believable, hard hitting dudes in wrestling. And almost every time he fights, looks like he's gone to war. So for me, that's my prediction. I think we're going to see Sheamus win the Intercontinental title at Mania. I don't know what they're doing with Pete Dunne and Ludwig Kaiser. You can't have more than 6 men in a ladder match. That's insanity. Unless 2 of those people I mentioned are not in the ladder match, and you have Pete Dunne and Kaiser. But I think Pete Dunne and Kaiser are out of the IC title picture for right now. We have a Bailey interview, and backstage talk about she's going to the Chamber, and she's going to be headlining Mania for the 2nd straight year. If you guys actually look at Bailey's gear now, or throwbacks, and look at her hair, they're kind of tying it back in the side ponytail, and she's got the I'm a role model shirt, but if you actually look at the way colors it is and the fonts, it kind of reminds you of something. And that's something that kind of reminds me of is Hugger Bailey from NXT days. Maybe it's kind of funny because of the rumors of her former superfan coming to WWE. We'll see. That all ties in, and maybe we get a Bailey and Izzy Moreno tag team in the future. That'd be interesting. 15 years after, or sorry, 10 years after Izzy becomes famous due to being a Bailey superfan and crying in the crowd at their NXT Houston Takeover match with Bailey and Sasha. Arguably another one of the matches that's going to make my top 10 list later on. Um, that's called the tease. Yeah, she gets interrupted by Roxanne. And this is one match I cannot wait for at WrestleMania. We got Roxanne Perez versus Bailey. I'm telling you right now, it's going to be at WrestleMania. And either day it's going to be on, it's going to steal the fucking day. Bailey is so incredibly underrated for how good she is and how smart she is in the ring and how well she put a match together. She reminds me so much of Bret Hart. And if people are going to probably give me flack for that, but Bailey reminds me so much of Bret Hart. Her in-ring style, her technician ability, her ability to tell a story, her ability to sell, her ability to sell for others, her ability to know when to do the right moves at the right spots, the ability to call the shots in the ring. She's a ring general. My personal opinion. Like when people are like, oh no, Bailey won't be able to keep without Sasha. Sasha can't do shit without Bailey. It's my personal opinion. In my personal opinion, I think Bailey's the best of the four horsewomen. Charlotte's athletic, but she's not a ring general. She can't tell a story. Becky Lynch is charismatic and can wrestle, and she's got a couple decent moves. But once again, I don't think she's a ring general. I don't think she's the greatest at telling a story. I don't know when she knows how to play the certain spots and certain moments. Bailey gets the whole everything about wrestling, the psychology of it, that when to put this in this part, when to do this here, when to do this there. And you know what? Roxanne is mini Bailey. That's why I'm saying this match has the potential, and I'm getting really excited ahead of myself, but it has the potential to steal the entire fucking weekend. And then we get more hints at people teasing that Jey Uso will not beat Gunther at WrestleMania as A-Town Down Under kind of takes shots at him, but then you can see this kind of a tear between A-Town Down Under with Theory and Waller kind of hitting at each other, NJ at the same time. And then Theory actually does Jay stuff, and Waller gets upset. Waller gets super kicked by Jay, and you can kind of see a smile on Theory's face as he's helping them up. So I guess we're getting Jay versus Waller next week, and that's great for Waller for those who don't know who Waller is. That'd be interesting. Then we had a really cool video package for that I Want Your Soul promo again with The Rock and Cody. And Cody came out, talked a little bit. Seth Rollins cut him off because Cody said he's indecisive. He doesn't know what to do because of his family. His brother's family is stuck. He's got nephews that want to get to the business. He's got the Nightmare Factory. He's got this on his back. He's got this on his back. He's got this. And Seth just told him, and when he went to Chamber, he wants Cody. He doesn't want soulless Cody. He wants the Cody that he faced 3 times before and helped win the title at Mania. And Cody had a couple of the best retorts I've heard in a long time. He's like, "So you don't want me to go down the same road you did? You're kind of a hypocrite." He's like, "When you got close to the Shield, what'd you do? You sold your soul. When I had my one arm and you shook my hand and you said you honor, what'd you do? You hit me in the back with a chair when I with a sledgehammer when I only had one arm." He's like, "You had brothers in the Shield, and what did you do? You did the exact same thing people think I'm gonna do. You sold your soul to the devil. You went corporate." And he just looked at his eyes. But he looked at me like, "Seth, on one night alone, you were my shield. You had one knee and a wonky back, and you were there to have my back, and you were the MVP of WrestleMania 40. Got the crowd to MVP, and for me, that was the line of the night. Just him saying, 'You were my shield,' with one knee and a wonky back." And if this is the match at WrestleMania 42, so be it. I cannot wait. And this will be up there with Bailey and Roxanne if this is the main event. I feel sorry for Gunther, and I do like Jey Uso, but I feel sorry for Gunther because Gunther will not be main eventing a Mania of any sort this year if his match is Jey Uso. I see it going on either opener, like they kind of did with Brock and Drew, or midway through the pay-per-view of day one. But personally, if it's me and it's Roxanne and Bailey, they main event day one because that match is going to be absolutely incredible. And no matter what matches, if matches have to follow it, they're gonna fall dead on it because they're gonna steal whatever day they're on, unless it's Cody and the same day as Cody and Seth. I'm getting ahead of myself, assuming it's Cody and Seth, but that's the match I want at Mania. Um, that's all I'm gonna say on that. Then we had what was interesting. That's all I'll call it. The main event. We had a little bit of a tease of both Naomi, and Bianca kind of going heel, and Liv and Raquel kind of being babyface for a little bit of the match. Because right as soon as the match started, even before the bell was rung, Naomi and Bianca attacked Liv and Raquel and destroyed Liv for majority of the match. Liv was able to take out to Raquel. Raquel got back in it. Then out of nowhere, Dominic Mysterio came out, and there's a lot of 1-2 false finishes in this match. A lot of really, really, really close ones, including one point where Liv had victory surprise rolled up Naomi, and it was 1-2, and I swear to God, it's not 0.9999999. And you could slide a piece of paper into how close the referee's hand was to the mat, and Naomi kicked out. I don't know if she forgot if it was supposed to be like that or if it was supposed to be that close, because it was extremely, extremely close. And then you had Raquel hit with the Liv hit with a KOD and then a double KOD and both times saved. Dominic Mysterio interferes and Naomi gets hit with a super kick, a Kahana bomb, and then the Oblivion save. Then Bianca gets knocked out by Raquel. Naomi gets hit with another Oblivion, saved again. And then finally, Raquel actually uses her power, hucks Bianca Belair over the timekeeper's bunch, grabs Naomi by the skull, just rams her into the top turnbuckle, and we have new and 3-time WWE Tag Team Champions of the World for the women, the Judgment Day, Liv and Raquel. And this is where my rant kind of goes. You guys have been teasing this for a long time, and if you actually looked at Naomi before the match, kind of looked awkward and nervous, like she didn't know what was going to happen. And I think they should have pulled the trigger right before the match happened. And I think they should have had Naomi just attack Bianca and leave her laying in the ring and just throw the belts at her. And so you have her screaming, "You chose her first. You chose her first," and just walked out of the ring and smiling and dancing and just have either Liv or Raquel stand over Bianca and pin her. But they tease this and they tease this and they tease this. And there's still nothing to actually say that Liv and Raquel didn't attack, if that makes sense. Because the match led to nothing at all, just new champions. There's no dissension between Naomi or Bianca throughout the whole match. They wrestle like a cohesive unit. There's no kind of like teasing that one was going to turn on the other at the point. Maybe they're waiting until SmackDown. I don't know. Maybe Bianca will snap on Naomi because she lost her belt and they were waiting for Jade to come back. Maybe it's Naomi who set up Liv and Raquel. Maybe it's Bianca. I think they should have pulled the trigger tonight. I think personally, I think this story's gone a little too long with nobody. They could just people seem to have forgot about it and then brought it back like in the last month. Kind of like, oh, we got to focus on Elimination Chamber. We got to focus on Rumble. Oh yeah, we got to figure out who can attack Jade. That's what happened. So that means Jade's getting closer to coming back because she's getting better in the ring. Because I don't think she's actually. I'll leave it there because I don't know what else to say. But for me, the entire Raw show, I'm gonna give it a like I said, I'm gonna start rating things, matches on the shows I want. I don't need that for pay-per-view. But the entire show of Raw in general, for a go home show, I really enjoyed it. The ending was the only part for me that sucked. I liked the little Easter eggs they had in there, kind of hinting towards things. I wish there was more clear, convinced ending towards this Bianca and Liv and Raquel and Naomi and it's called Jade Cargill thing going on. We still have no idea what the hell they're doing with the Jade Cargill storyline. Like, is it Naomi? Is it Bianca? Is it somebody can't even think of? Maybe it's Jordan Grace and she was brought in by Naomi. That makes sense, right? Who knows? We'll see what WWE wants to do. Maybe they'll make this thing last a year and they'll figure out what they're gonna do then. kind of like a Who Shot JR Mr. Burns story here, right? Makes sense to me, I guess. Um, on that note, guys, I'm gonna give Raw overall is go home from show for getting you a little bit hyped up for Elimination Chamber, kind of little mini feuds that are going on here, like the one with CM Punk and Logan Paul and Seth Rollins and Cody. Are they not? And they kind of build and lead to what could be a crazy ladder match at WrestleMania. So I was trying to think for a second there as I paused. A little bit of a tease between Dissension and the Judgment Day that's been going on for a while, and that's getting even deeper. And it keeps leading towards this maybe new member, maybe not new member. Like I said, I liked the entire. It was a very interesting show. The only part I didn't like was you thought you get like a definitive, somewhat kind of answer or definition or figure out of what was going on with this storyline. It's still going absolutely nowhere, in my opinion. But other than that, I'm gonna give Raw a 7. I thought it was actually a show that it got you a little bit more pumped for what's gonna happen on the weekend, and gave you a little bit of teases here and there, like I keep saying, which I personally like in my wrestling. And they had a little bit of goofiness thrown in there as well, the Tozawa thing. But also, I just realized something, and another gripe I have before we end this. Excuse me. If Ludwig Kaiser is not supposed to be associated with Gunther in any way possible anymore, because he's supposed to be on his own, why do they have the exact same ring music and hype and everything around it the same way it's done? You figure if they want them to be distinguished from each other, not together, Kaiser had different music. But okay. On that note, like I said, 7 out of 10 for Raw. Great go home show. Can't wait for the pay per view on the weekend. And I'll talk to you guys on Friday with some NXT, some SmackDown, and my predictions for the Saturday elimination chamber card. Talk to you guys Friday. Peace.